their own way is trying to get peace. They're trying to maintain peace because we're not giving them peace in relationships, in life. We're not allowing people just to live and let live. They have to live exactly how we want them to live. And I'm saying we women need to step up and talk about this. And anytime we do, I get bombarded with really mean and sometimes threatening messages from women. If you're seeing the messages, those are probably the nice ones, because some of the threatening ones you have to report.
Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily. Every so often, a woman sits down, starts talking, and doesn't stop. And every single word out of her mouth is exactly what this channel has been saying for years, in real time, out loud, on camera. And gentlemen, when that happens, you don't interrupt. Yes. This woman is cooking. And when a woman is cooking, let her cook. Let's go.
Ain't that a man?
They were pushing, it wasn't just a girl power, it was a girl boss. And there is a difference between girl power, 90s girl power, and girl boss. I guess it's sort of like socialism to communism. It's really the transition phase is now that I've learned. So maybe there's not a difference. Now I have to be against girl power. I have to rethink everything I've watched in the 90s, because this is what happens when you're on that slippery slope. It just keeps going. You're snowballing into this bigger issue, and it's never just going to stay in that thing once you cross that line. And so we crossed that line into allowing feminism into our girls, girls rule, boys drool. And yeah, that's where now we hate men. This misandrist crap is from that. That's where it happens. And I know some people are upset when I say women are taught like I'm not giving them agency, but it is a brainwashing cult. We are brainwashed through everything we watch. We have to watch ourselves as we're watching things. We have to be aware, what is the message this wants to give me, no matter if it's good or bad. Like the hero's journey, the original Odyssey, would be a great message, but it's still a message. And so you do have to be aware of what the purpose is of that you're watching.
Let her cook, gentlemen. Notice where she lands. Every story carries a message, whether you catch it or not. We made that same case in They Removed the Reward. She's living it from the other side of the screen.
I'm here to see my gynecologist.
That's why we do these movie breakdowns from a red pill lens, because these movies are quiet propaganda.
Rom-coms have ruined. That's not how love works. That's a lust thing. That's a temporary thing. And if you're really going your relationships on those type, you're not going to be in long-term relationships. Love is not a feeling. It is not a feeling. It is absolute choice. You definitely don't like people all the time, but there's a choice that you have to constantly make. To love someone is an unconditional thing, and it's not about how they make you feel. There's a lot of times where you don't feel the love for your child who's sitting there yelling at you and saying they hate you, right? Because you're disciplining them. You're not feeling loving feelings, but obviously you love them. It's a choice that you have to make for someone else. It's just how when we're in marriages, everyone is being told to get married, and this is the message that women are especially getting, to get married to be happy. If you're getting married to be happy, you're doing it wrong. You should be married to serve your husband. You should be married to serve your family, depending on if you're a husband, wife. You should be married to serve that better whole. And you have, in your relationship, you can decide how that works, how you want it to work in that dynamic, but you need to be outward focused. You should not ever hang your happiness hat on anyone else. You can't do it. But if you're sitting there and you're serving your spouse, then that person should be getting their needs met. That's how it works. And then they're serving you, they're serving their family.
Whoa! Did you hear that, Dr. Anna?
Starting with the first part, useful. What, you might ask, does Dr. Teraband thinks makes a woman useful? Well, serving a man.
In order to identify opportunities where she can be of service. But Orion, some women will say, why would I want to serve a man?
I think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. That's a pretty disgusting way to view dynamics between men and women. It reveals a very hierarchical view of the genders, where women are relinquished to the role of servant. They're basically beneath men.
To serve, not to be a servant. That's the distinction, gentlemen. The same one we already had to make for you, Dr. Anna. Janice, read.
To help achieve something or to be useful as something. Or, if something serves you, it is good or helpful for you.
The Merriam-Webster defines it as
to be of use, to be favorable, opportune, or convenient. to be worthy of reliance or trust.
She just dismantled the entire follow your heart model of relationships that's been sold to 2 full generations. Love isn't a feeling that arrives and departs on its own schedule. It's a decision you renew on purpose, especially on the days it doesn't feel good. And in a real relationship, that choice runs in both directions.
Because it was 10 years and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like 10 years of marriage and I'm not happy, and I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I'm not in love with you anymore. So that was it.
Wow.
Thoreau, I do not know how to say his last name, but I've seen him. I really did enjoy the Scientology movie that he made a while back. It was obviously biased, but that was fun to watch. And so I did watch the Manosphere documentary, and that was not fun to watch. It was not even about the Manosphere. It made up stuff, and it just looked at one section, and it didn't actually discuss what any of the issue might be. Like, if you have a problem with the Manosphere, I'm not in the Manosphere, but I understand why it exists, and I understand that people are taking that and manipulating people in different areas, but there's also valid reasons for that. Men going their own way is Manosphere, but it's not the same as, say, like a black pill Manosphere person or someone who's just completely anti-woman. There are different groups of men going their own way is trying to get peace. They're trying to maintain peace because we're not giving them peace in relationships, in life. We're not allowing people just to live and let live. They have to live exactly how we want them to live. And I'm saying we women. But I felt like it was so discounting the millions of men who are dealing with misinjury, who are dealing with horrible, hateful women who hate men. They're not shy about it. And there's systems out there. And the more that I interact with men in these locations, because YouTube and different places, they only show my stuff to men. And when they do show it to women, the women tend to hate it and be very angry.
You always beat them with the definition of the Manosphere. Don't you agree, Mark Manson? Louis Theroux?
My first surrounded claim is that the Manosphere is a billion-dollar business that profits off keeping men angry and insecure.
The foolishness. This is Louis Theroux saying Miami is the Manosphere's spiritual home in that goofy Netflix documentary.
And so I'd come to its spiritual home, Miami.
You guys are killing me. The comment saying you can't wait to make your pilgrimage to Miami. The Manosphere is decentralized. Men going their own way is a philosophy. Not every guy in the Manosphere agrees with it. The women who get angry are ignorant. And yesterday's video is proof of how a man decides to opt out for plausible reasons that have nothing to do with hating women.
You're a writer with a profile. Were you worried about your reputation being damaged?
It definitely makes me more hesitant and makes me reconsider who I want to hang out with, just based on that. But also, I think a lot of us are thinking about this just generally, like we've all got public profiles now. Yeah, I think we're all reconsidering like safety concerns about who we hang out with, yeah.
If you have a thought that is different, that is not destroying our world, the entire world, then yeah, we're gonna have to say it. We're gonna have to get up and not be lazy or not be scared and actually talk about it. And then Adam also says, I'm here and would be considered MGTOW. Obviously, I don't hate women. Thank you, Adam. And yes, you've been here for a while. Thank you for your continued support. And I do appreciate you. And I'm glad that you don't hate women. And I definitely understand the needing your peace and needing to continue your life and not be pulled into some of this craziness. A lot of times it's just you check out because why is that helpful, right? And that's what men are saying. It's just, I don't have the time or energy and my life has been better. Unfortunately, a lot of these men, it wasn't that they told me, okay, so this is not me just speaking for them, that it's not necessarily they wanted to just go their own way. It was because of the situations, because of the people, because of the women that they're dealing with. It just, they cannot live in a constant state of that sort of stress. And men are very resilient, but they're also intelligent. They're not going to just continue to be in that situation. Women tend to stay in situations a lot longer, I think, than men that they shouldn't be in.
Men aren't opting out because they're broken or scared. They're opting out because they did the math and figured out the juice ain't worth the squeeze. And peace was cheaper alone. I do disagree with her on one point. Women staying in bad situations longer than men. If anything, the divorce filing statistics tell the opposite story. Women initiate 70 to 80% of divorces. If women were truly the ones enduring longer, we'd expect men to be the ones pulling the plug more often. The data points the other way.
I think for a woman, you check out many, many years earlier. It takes us a long time, especially with children, young kids. You know, you're always like, oh, we stay for the family, stay for the children.
There's no protections. And so now we're seeing there's limited protections for women because this is where it goes, because they eat their own. They're not over there saying, oh, now we're going to be happy. No, whoever's on top, women put themselves on top, and now it's time to tear down women because it's always the oppressor and the victim. And it's going to nonstop be that, to continue to tear it down, to subvert society until there's nothing left. And they're wanting to do it. They want to create these systems. They want to, I believe, that the government does pay different cities and things in different countries and around. They're paying for these riots, for these things to happen, to show that everything's falling apart so that people will start believing that we need to destroy everything and put it back together better.
That's the whole ideology in one sentence, gentlemen. A framework built entirely around identifying an oppressor doesn't stop once it wins. It just needs a new oppressor. And eventually, that search turns inward or outward towards something that can't even fight back. We've documented this all series. The chatbots, the AI companions, the new oppressor is AI.
All of this is a perfect distillation of the cultural moment we're in. AI adoption is increasingly being framed as an essential tool for empowerment, ambition, and survival, especially for women, even as the technology is increasingly associated with surveillance, labor displacement, deepfakes, and harassment. It should come as no surprise that many of the people who are championing this also champion girl boss feminism.
So around there but before that, it wasn't that I just didn't like it. I figured just another brainwashing thing that women have is the rom-coms, which I'm really against now, but we grew up in that age. And so you're just thinking you're going to do life and it's going to happen. So it was around 25 that I decided it's not just happening. I have to actually try to meet someone. I'm not just going to walk in a room and some guy's going to be like her and it's just going to be, he's going to chase me. Rom-coms have ruined. That's not how love works. That's a lust thing. That's a temporary thing. And if you're really going your relationships on those type, you're not going to be in long-term relationships. Love is not a feeling. It is not a feeling. It is absolute choice. Rom-coms are mostly about cheating. That's what Adam Bailey says. Yeah, it really feels like it's teaching women some really bad behaviors. And it's always about like, I'm already with someone and he's a good guy. Or sometimes they're like, they show that it's a bad relationship that you're in, but a lot of times it's just like someone who's, I guess, stable and boring. I don't know. You meet someone and just can't help it. They're not things we should be teaching people. Have self-control, people. Make decisions, make commitments, and stick to them. It doesn't mean you're not going to find other people attractive. It means you have to make choices every day that are for the good of your life and the good of your relationship. Being married, it doesn't mean you're not attracted to someone. Attraction isn't love, and there is a difference. And you really, ladies don't seem to know that.
We've made this point on this channel before with our romantic consumerism series. Hollywood sold an entire generation of women a fantasy model of love, then billed the emotional cost to the men who couldn't compete with a 2-hour movie. She's just confirmed it from the inside.
Women need to step up and talk about this. And anytime we do, I get bombarded with really mean and sometimes threatening messages from women. If you're seeing the messages, those are probably the nice ones because some of the threatening ones you have to report. But and that just makes me need to talk about it more. So then it's, oh, she's obsessed with talking about this. If you're gonna attack me like that, this is showing me that I'm not wrong. This is a problem. And how many women do want to get out there and be called really horrible things? If anyone knows me, I don't curse and I don't like to do that. It's fine if you do. I don't care about that. I just mean they're really going at it, just being absolutely horrible, calling me names. But that tends to be what you do because you want to divide and you want to conquer and you want to shut people up. And so it's more important for someone like me who is fine with getting women yelling at me and getting canceled and whatever. You just have to make a sacrifice and talk about it because someone needs to talk about it. Someone needs to know. I know there are young girls, there are girls out there that are feeling this is weird and they don't know that other people say, yeah, you're right, this is not appropriate behavior for women. We need to care about humans. We need to care about the society that we live in. They call it suicidal empathy. That's stupid. That's not what it, I don't even agree with that. I don't think there's any empathy in it. It's not empathetic. I guess maybe because you add that whole phrase, it means something completely different. And so maybe it's just like a play on words at this point, but there's no empathy in modern women. But there are many women who do have that, who have compassion, but I do believe that we're being bullied, we're being treated really poorly, and a lot of people don't want to be put in that place. So here I am, trying.
That's the cost, gentlemen. She's not describing hypothetical backlash. She's describing what actually happens in real time to a woman who says the same things the men in this space say every day. And she draws the same conclusion we do. The ferocity of the reaction is the proof, not the refutation.
Obviously, I shouldn't have to say this, but I do have to say this because people are going to be like, what about DA? And I'm not promoting bad relationships. This isn't a healthy relationship that you have chosen to put your needs aside and focus on your family, focus on your husband, focus on your children. This is a sacrifice that you make, and it actually helps you be less selfish. And that's how we're supposed to treat society as well. We're not supposed to think about our own needs. We're supposed to think about other people only. We're supposed to die to self. We're supposed to think about only other people and what's the best for everyone else. And that's what you do in a relationship. It's a choice to love. It's not easy, but you have to make that choice every single day. And it actually makes your life better as you start to stop thinking about yourself. And again, you're in a relationship with someone who's also doing these same things. And so you're both getting all your needs met. Crazy concept, but you're not doing it for your needs to be met because you're not focused on what you need. You're outside of yourself. I really feel like that's the way to do every relationship, not just a marriage, but friendships and life. If you're in a work environment, it's really about being as selfless as possible. That's at least what I've been doing. And over the last decade, I've been getting better and better at it, but my life is infinitely better. Maybe you can judge me objectively on what you think is success, but my success is that I have peace and that I'm having decent relationships with people. I don't get triggered by everything. That to me is successful. I have peace in life. I'm happy and I feel like I have a better purpose.
We let her cook today, gentlemen, because sometimes the argument lands heavier coming from someone who isn't supposed to be making it. She's not part of the Manosphere. She told you that herself, but she arrived at nearly every conclusion this channel has spent years documenting. Love as a choice, not a feeling. Marriage as service, not self-fulfillment. Men opting out for peace, not out of fear. An ideology that eventually turns and consumes its own. She said it in real time and got called horrible things for it. That's not a coincidence. That's confirmation. Listen to all, follow none.
Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.